everyone. Welcome to the EthStaker Ethereum 1 client upgrade support call. Today is July 24th, 2021, and we are looking forward to the London upgrade that's going to occur around August 4th. And it's very important that validators have upgraded their client, their ETH1 client, prior to this upgrade. And so the big picture today is just to upgrade ETH1. We're going to focus on Geth because that's what most people use and what we use. We understand that other people use different clients and they're all fine, but we're not going to focus much on those. This should be a really quick call, just sort of a walkthrough of how you might update Geth and make sure it's working. So I'm here with a couple of my buddies. I'm so glad everybody made it today. Unvetica does so much to help us with engineering and getting things up and running and keeping us together. So hi, Michael.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, so in terms of this team, so we're like 5 people here. Michael is about 8 of those 5 people. God, I say things that don't make any sense. I don't know. It sounded cool before it came out. Also, for project management, for keeping us all on our toes, keeping us moving in the same direction, we have Gray Wizard. How are you, buddy?
Hey, doing well.
Awesome. And the guy who really knows everything that none of us can answer, and he sits there with a smug look on his face because he knows what's going on when we don't, is Lamboshi, who we also call Nolan. That's the smug look. You're like, I know what's going on here. Sorry, I was like, what's a good intro? Hey, what's your shirt? I like that. Is that a public goods shirt? Oh, incredible.
Yeah, I love them public goods.
Where'd you get that?
Gitcoin's got a store.
Oh, legit.
You can go spend money at it.
I will do that. And so from Stakehouse is an extension of EthStaker. They really are EthStaker. Colfax is part of our core team, but and I'm sure everyone knows that he's not on a plane because I don't think he can do video chatting on a plane unless you're Colfax. Welcome, Colfax. Glad to have you today.
Hey, guys.
So great to have you. Okay, so this call is going to be quick today. We just want to help you make sure that Geth is running correctly, and we'll do a couple things to check it. We don't have a great system to share on because our test nodes are down and because, well, for whatever. So we're actually going to demonstrate on a raw system. So some stuff I'm going to type is just going to be fake, but you can bear with me. We need to update Geth because the London hard fork on around August 4th is going to change the way that I was like, wait, I don't want to do a small description. I want to do a big description. Well, let's say it this way. The London upgrade is technically a hard fork, and I steer clear away from calling things a hard fork because it sends shivers through the spines of people who don't know a lot about it. But a hard fork is really no big deal. It is an upgrade, but what it means is that older versions of Geth will not be compatible with the chain. And so you have to update to Geth, and I think we're looking, is it 1.10.6 is the minimum acceptable upgrade. And that was only released a few days ago. So we want to make sure that you're on the most recent version and that you're getting a chain sync and that everything is ready for this upgrade. In terms of timelines, we have known for a while that that this upgrade was going to happen around August 4th, but it takes the clients a while to get everything ready. So we've been actually through several iterations of this Geth 1.10. And so if you're on an older version, there may be issues with it that will prevent your sync. So you want to make sure you're on the latest version that really came out about 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah.
Now you keep saying it's going to be around August 4th. Why is that? Why isn't it an exact date or time?
That's a great question. Anybody else want to speak up?
So the upgrade happens at a block number, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but some number. And because the block time with proof of work is not completely consistent. You can get drift of, up to several hours.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. And the Ethernodes site actually has my favorite countdown. It's an adaptive countdown. So it's taking into account the most recent block times. And it's very easy to do a static countdown with JavaScript. You're like, hey, subtract 14.1 seconds or 12.2 seconds from every block until we get there. But their countdown is actually dynamic and it's updating. So it should be the best target. That's ethernodes.com/London, something like that.
Yep. And that link is also in the EthStaker.cc blog post for the Validator Workshop for those interested in that countdown.
Awesome. And so as EthStaker, we want you to do everything yourself, as in we want you to run a local ETH1 client. We want you to run a local ETH2 client because we think that's, we know that's best for the health of the network. But it's also great to have an ETH1 fallback. And there's a list of those ETH1 fallbacks. I think it's like at ethereumnodes.org, something like that. You can go there and get a list of ETH1 fallback addresses. I use Infura because it's easy, but everyone uses Infura. And because if everyone uses a service, it's something that you probably want to choose an alternative. So go to ethereumnodes.org and look at their different services. I believe almost all of the validator clients now offer a fallback. So that is a fallback to your Ethereum 1 client. And so, like I said, I use Geth as my ETH1 client, but I also have a fallback to Infura. So if Geth goes offline, it's going to kick in Infura. That's something I really encourage everyone to do. Because like first you want to be self-reliant, but then you also want to know that if you can't be self-reliant, that you're still supported. If you don't have this upgrade in place by August 5th, you're not really going to notice anything. Everything is going to continue running smoothly until it's time for you to propose a block on the beacon chain. And when you get to that point, whether it's August 5th or whether it's 6 months from now, if your ETH1 client is not upgraded, the block proposal will fail. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, things are going to run pretty smoothly. It's not going to be a catastrophic immediate failure. You're just not going to be able to propose blocks. And so for that reason, we expect to see a little dip in block proposals when London goes live. And that's okay. So I got that. All right, so we're going to go to the screen share. And as I'm typing, I really hope someone else will hop in with me. The first thing I want to do is check my Geth version. And it's very easy, Geth version, and you're going to find Geth isn't installed here. So it takes 2 seconds to install it using snap. I actually use sudo apt get install Geth. I install the PPA, but it is available to snap as well. None of this, I'm doing all the talking. I guess we kind of agreed like I would be carrying this, and that's okay. None of this is going to contradict any of the directions from the tutorial you followed. I know a lot of people followed Samarisats, and a lot of people followed CoinCashew. Nothing we do here is going to contradict that. So don't feel like, oh, he's doing it different. Those guides are well tested. We just want to make sure that you're up to date with them. So now I should be able to do Geth version. And this is an old version. It's coming from Snap. So it's going to have to be installed from the PPA. Let me go get the Geth PPA. So if you are installing from Snap, as of today, you're going to have an old version of I can't I have to type it in manually. Got it. Give me just a minute. Move to new window. I've installed the Geth PPA 100 times, but I still don't know what it is. To be honest, in the long run, it doesn't matter where you get your Geth as long as the version number is correct. And if I look at this one, I can see the version is 1.9.6 unstable. That's not acceptable right now. So even though Ubuntu makes it really easy to install Geth from Snap, it's not useful. You find this a lot, like it's just an outdated package.
In terms of other best practices, do I have to worry about the machine being down or stopped or anything before I do this upgrade or update if I'm a solo staker?
No. We will. One of the interesting catches is even when you install the current binary of Geth, it will not automatically run on the system. So what you can do, I have to remove the Snap version. So one of the traps that some of us fall into is we do update and upgrade, and we're like, oh, my system now has the newest version of Geth. But then you're not actually running it yet. Because the service that was running previously, say that Geth service has been running for 6 months, and you've never stopped it, it's using the old binary. And so you actually need to restart the Geth process in order to run it.
Very good. So as a new solo staker, if I'm anxious about messing something up, I'm not in risk of potentially slashing myself or anything. I want to make that clear to viewers out there.
Yeah, no, yeah. So you're not at risk.
Yep.
And so what I have here is I have two. That's my path is wrong because I installed it first from Snap and then from Snap and then from PPA. And so I'm gonna just do it this way. So when I do user bin Geth, and you should always, whenever you can, do an absolute path. And there you'll see that I'm running 1.10.6 stable. And that is the Geth version that's acceptable. If you look back to where I installed that from Snap, it gave 1.9.6. And I would probably need to fool with the system path. Actually, that might just be a root path. Great. Yeah, okay. So as the regular user, I can do Geth version and get 1.10.6. And now, let's say you already had Snap running. All you'd have to do is sudo apt update and sudo apt this upgrade. And so that's going to check the repository and see if there's a newer version. There are a lot of updates here, but what I want to do is scan this and see if Geth is involved. I can also only select to update the Geth package. But when you're running a server, you really want to make sure that all of your packages are up to date. The big idea is run the fewest packages you can. So don't run anything you don't need, and then make sure the ones that are running are always updated. So if I'm running like LibreOffice on this, there's always going to be updates for LibreOffice, but I don't really need LibreOffice on my staking server. So anyway, and it's okay if those things are running. They're just extra cruft. So if you are, let's say, Fizz, you're talking about all kinds of crap, like you've got me lost. If you are a basic user, all you'll need to do is go in and do sudo apt update, sudo apt update, and sudo apt dist upgrade. That should update the Geth package to the current one. And then we're going to catch up and we're going to do just a little bit of monitoring to make sure that things are running like we want them to. And so one of the complications here is depending on which guide you followed, Geth is going to be running under a different name, under a different service. For me, that service is always going to be called Geth, but I cannot demonstrate it well here. But I'll do my best to get through it. It doesn't hurt that I did that upgrade. But so the first thing we always want to do is see if Geth is running. And that's easiest with PS, AUX, and then a pipe, and then Geth. It's going to tell me... sorry. I'm on screen. So I did the command wrong. It should actually be PS, AUX, grep. And grep is just a tool that looks for a line. And when I type that, it's going to tell me there's no Geth running on this system. This line will always come up. Color auto. Ignore that. What I'd be looking for, I don't want to do things too complicated. All right, we're gonna do imaginary world. On your system, you should see when you type PS AUX grep Geth, you should see an instance of Geth running here with a long string, and that's really what you're looking for. That's probably going to say it has been running for a lot of days, like 2 days, 60 days, 100 days. And what we want to do is restart that process so that you're viewing a current version of Geth. And to do that, it will usually be system control sudo, system control, restart, and the name of that process is usually going to be Geth. And it's not going to work for me here now. And it will say system, whatever, restart. After you do that, you can view the status of that system. And it will, really what you're looking for is a green dot that looks like a go light, and it says it's running. And then finally, the last thing you can do after you verified that it's installed and it's up running is you can do journal control. And that's just going to show you the journal entries for Geth, and really you're looking for blocks to sync. If you see errors there, then, and I don't just mean a few errors, because there's always like, peer failed to connect. That's no big deal. But if you see like you're missing blocks and just pages and pages of errors, then you have a problem. So I guess in general, the big picture of this is run sudo apt update, sudo apt dist upgrade, look for Geth to be in that, run Geth version to make sure you're up to Geth 1.10.6 or even higher if I don't think we're going to have another update. And then make sure that your system process that's running Geth in the background is running the latest version. Unless you manually restart that process, it's going to be running the old version. If you look in this output here, you can see my instance is Geth 1.10.6, and that's what we're looking for. And so that's kind of where we're at. It's not complicated when everything goes right. But what do we do if things go wrong? Anybody want to give us a hint?
You just turn it off. Go home.
Turn it off. Go home. Quit. Yeah. So usually we recommend check out the EthStaker Discord, or really even better than that, you can go to some of the client Discords. There's usually someone on hand to say, show me your log and show me, and they'll give you a hand. There are not usually complicated problems. Most everything is solved in the worst case scenario by resyncing the chain, and that's why we want to have a fallback. So don't panic if Geth or if your ETH1 client goes wacky, because you're still going to be validating. You cannot propose, but in 2 or 3 days, you can easily resync, and there's always a fallback. So
just to expand on that, what Fizz is saying, after this live stream is done, even though there are simple steps, there's only a limited amount of commands to use to do this. We will list those in the blog post for the Validator Workshop, in addition to the posting of this video, so you can kind of play along with it. Additionally, if you're still timid, if you're still anxious about it, you're like, I don't get it, or you just want some support to make sure that whatever you're seeing is correct, we're also doing the live stream for the London network upgrade. So you can watch us. We won't be doing the actual upgrade on that call. It'll be more just counting down to it. But we will have a presumably some sort of screen to make sure that everything is processing correctly as the network is concerned. So if there are, outside issues or unforeseen, issues, whatever they may be, they'll probably be discovered during that live stream. Additionally, the links to our Discord and the ETH1 client Discords, I'll link to those in the blog post as well, so you can coordinate with those communities.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the most important thing about the ETH1 client is it's very important for the long run because you don't want to miss block proposals, but it's never an emergency. Like, let's face it, at some point we're all going to miss a block proposal, but it's not going to be an emergency. If you discover that has happened, then it's time to, like, what should I do? But it's never going to be a panic, just something that has to get done. Are there questions on YouTube? I'm not really...
Nope, no, not yet. I've kind of been monitoring it. Just a lot of people following along. So go ahead.
Nope, you're up.
Just for fun, kind of zooming out from this, I'm just trying to think of like any newcomer questions. So we're focusing very much on this is preparation for the London network upgrade. It's a ETH1 side of things of the validator. When do I get to stop worrying about the ETH1 side of things for me as a solo staker? Is that ever going to be a reality?
Super question. So yeah, that brings me to two things. So the merge that is probably going to happen in 2022 is the super big event that will mean ETH1 and ETH2 will merge together into one chain. And I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but there's a good chance that we will be relying less on the ETH1 client at that point. What's most likely to happen by merge is that there will be a merged client. So you'll simply be running Lighthouse, Teku, Nimbus, or Prism, and it will include the ETH1 data. And you can look forward to that sometime in 2022. But there's another thing I want to say. I know a lot of this feels complicated. And what EthStaker is working on, and I acknowledge the work is slow, but we are working to promote tools that make staking easier for everyone. And a lot of it for us has been just wrapping our head around what needs to happen. And that takes a while. And I feel like now we have a direction. We know what needs to happen. Colfax and I have been talking about this, and Stakehouse is gearing up to launch a big initiative. And so the intention is that by December of this year, all of this will be graphical, which means all you will need to do is click buttons on your desktop to say, make magic happen. I cannot guarantee that will happen, but I do believe that we have the resources and the ability to have it ready. There are forms of that now. Colvex, do you want to talk about some of the tools that are simplifying this process right now?
Yeah, definitely. So that's definitely the goal. It's a bit of an ambitious goal, but we're going to push ourselves to see if we can accomplish it all by December. Some of the tools that we're working on in Stakehouse right now are an installer, just like Fizz is saying, sort of basically a one-click installer that'll manage everything for you and allow you to click a button to do these upgrades, so you don't actually need to interact with the command line. Another tool that we're working on that we'll probably be launching first, since it's a little bit simpler in complexity, is a UI for generating your keys. So say if you wanted to enter a new validator into the network, whether it's your first or whether it's another one, you already have a validator running, you'll need to generate some keys for that. So that's going to be a graphical user interface wrapped around the deposit CLI too. So that should, we're almost ready to launch it, but then it needs to get audited. So we'll probably launch it for testnets here pretty soon. Another tool that we have actually live already is a port checker. So you should have your ports open, so it makes it easier to connect to peers. And so we have an external endpoint that you can actually hit from your staking machine, and it'll tell you what your machine looks like from the outside world. So like what ports are open, and that'll help you understand how easy it'll be for you to connect to other peers. So that's not a mandatory thing, but it's definitely something good to participate in the health of the network and allow you to connect to peers more easily when you're running your node. So those are a few of the tools that we have. I just want to mention, we have a pretty small team that's working hard on this, but if you're interested in helping out and you have some technical skills, or even you just want to test, come on over to the Steakhouse channel on EthStaker Discord, and we'll gladly have your help. I also want to shout out all the other people in the broader Ethereum community working on tools like this, and we're collaborating with folks like DAppNode, who already have some infrastructure around installing tools, and we're helping them do things like support more clients and maybe even build some other UI tools for switching between clients and things like that. And then also we're working with the Steerium folks who have another tool that's like a graphical tool. So in the same sense where we want client diversity and multiple tools, client diversity and multiple clients for the network, we also want multiple tools that people can choose from too, because we want to avoid as many areas of centralization as possible. So that's sort of the overall overview of things. We are having actually our first public community call on Wednesday at 4 p.m. UTC. The details are pinned in the Steakhouse channel. If they're not pinned, actually, I will pin them right now. And if you either are just interested in learning about the learning more details about the initiatives going on, participating, or even if you're working on something you want to present, please come join the call. Right now, the way to join is just send me a DM. So I'm Colfax 1983 on Discord, and I'll make sure. And the purpose of that call is just to get everybody in the room together, share some information, collaborate, and sort of strategize on how we can lower the technical bar to staking. So I hope to see some of you guys there as well on Wednesday. We'll be doing that every 2 weeks going forward.
Awesome. So that's July 28th. I know some people will be watching this on YouTube 2 years from now, and that's July 28th, 2021. And right now, Steakhouse has about 10 developers, and they're doing a lot of great stuff. And these are not full-time people. These are people mostly who just want to contribute in some way to the Ethereum community, and maybe they're just learning. What I really look forward to is seeing Steakhouse have 100 developers, where Colfax is this fantastic air traffic controller, and Grey Wizard is a great project manager, and where they are just organizing these willing hands to get these tools built quickly and efficiently and stably for the environment. So yeah, I'm so glad to have Steakhouse on board, and I really look forward to watching this technical barrier just get lower and lower. And the thing that we have to realize is it's on us. It's on our community, maybe not just EthStaker, but it's on the Ethereum community to lower the barrier to entry, because industry isn't really going to do it. They have a profit motive, and there's no profit motive in this for us. So it's up to us to get it done. So yeah. What's next, guys?
I would say it's probably worth mentioning that there are other ETH1 clients, and just the disclaimer that we're not really getting into that today. Somebody speak to that.
Is it POAP time?
Yeah, no, let me hit that real fast, and then we'll do POAP. So like Nethermind and Aragon, they're great clients. We're just not we found that most people are running guests. And so that's what we wanted to focus on. Definitely go to their Discord channels if you're having any trouble with updates, but it should be a similarly easy process. Just update, upgrade, restart. And now I'd say it's POAP time.
Sure. Yep. So we've got a POAP for today's call. Those watching the live stream, if you join the EthStaker Discord or any other Discord that has the POAP bot, you can go ahead and message the POAP bot 94 with today's code word, and today's code word is workshop 3, all one word. It's displayed on the live stream as well. You have 24 hours to claim. After that, it's not possible to claim, so make sure after you send the code word, you go ahead and immediately claim that code word, or that claim link rather. Now these are always fun, just to provide a little bit more context on these. EthStaker, as a community, we're very much advocates for POAP. It's something we use heavily. It's something we give away frequently, but it's something that we also leverage frequently, meaning that it's one thing to collect these POAPs. It's another thing to actually be able to use them. So we frequently host POAP.fun raffles for various different prizes, whether they be physical prizes, NFTs, tokens, that we pepper those out throughout the year. So make sure that you are subscribe to our Discord at invite.gg/EthStaker. That's typically where those get announced. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel because they're typically distributed on our live streams. You can catch us at youtube.com/c/EthStaker.
Did you say the word? Because I was.
Yep, workshop 3. So just to
hey, I got one.
Randomly switch gears here, it's loosely related to POAP. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But those who are interested in maybe diving a little bit deeper into Ethereum and wanting to know what's on the bleeding edge of things coming up, the Ethereum Foundation does host calls weekly. They have 3 separate live stream calls. One of those being the merge call. That's where all the developers come in, discuss what's going in, how it's going to be implemented, the progress being made on it. Those meetings are posted on the EthStaker event calendar at ethstaker.cc, both for the YouTube link, how to join, and when they are. Highly recommend checking those out, if not just for knowing what's going on. There's tons of alpha information that's being published on there, and it's really interesting to kind of know on the ground floor like what's going on, and those are all made public. And if you're unable to make the live stream themselves, on the Ethereum Foundation YouTube page, they're all recorded as well. So I would go ahead and check that out.
Awesome. And I've noticed you have been kind of dropping a secret word in those YouTube chats lately. That's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that's for. Might have to play around with that and see what happens if there's code words being dropped in chats.
Cool deal. All right. Anybody have anything else that we want to put out? Thanks, everybody. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was just going to remind everyone one last time, just make sure to check us out. Our next live stream is going to be, I believe it is slated for the 4th of August, but that's the London Network Upgrade live stream. Again, the links to all of those things, they're all over the EthStaker website, and it's also, you can click the notify me button when we do go live on our YouTube channel as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks again, everybody, for joining us this morning. I'm Vedeka, Grey Wizard, Lamboshi, Colfax. I'm really glad you guys made it. I hope we helped a few people get ready for the hard... I don't call it a hard fork anymore because that word scares people. It's literally just an upgrade. But I hope everyone's ready, and we're here to help if you need us. And hopefully we'll continue to improve our quality of service to the community. So we're glad to have everyone's participation.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks again, everyone.
Bye.